Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 5th, 2025. It's a Time Machine episode. This is Season 4, Episode 125. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. Sentient AI isn't available today, but we're going to talk about these 10 articles. The Cuttlefish Wave. Visit Galaxy's Edge digitally. Savage Planet. Marine fossil from South Africa. Green sky over Chilean desert. Mining operation hid chemical leaching. A magnet so powerful. T-Rex leather, but mostly marketing, I think. Forgers in chair scandal are going to be taking a seat for a long time, I think. And finally, universal anti-venom. I keep thinking that it's supposed to be called anti-venom, but I think there's same word or different words, same thing. Anyway, let's get into it. Hello again, everybody. I am Mayor Watt. This is a Time Machine episode. Let's get straight into this. No preamble. First article's over on the Wanted channel. Go over to ohmtown.com. That's what powers everything. This cuttlefish seems to wave at each other, and nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. And this is mostly the same thing that all animals and creatures and whatnot, they don't speak a language that we understand, and so we interpret it. And I think that this is kind of broken. We need to figure out what it is that animals are saying to each other, because they are certainly talking beyond, just hissing at each other and stuff like that. I don't know. There's something more to our existence. Acute observation in the cephalopods' behavior indicates that they react to sound waves, a notion that soon is going to be tested with a machine learning approach. This cuttlefish here. I've seen these cuttlefish do this, like, pulsing of their, what are they called? They've got their skin can change color to camouflage, but I can't remember what they're actually called. Anyway, maybe it says it on the other side of this. The article's over at gizmodo.com. Isaac Schultz put the article together. And it says cuttlefish, sometimes referred to as the chameleons of the sea, are renowned for their camouflage abilities. In other cephalopods, the color changing capacity is also used for communication and like other cephalopods, namely octopuses, which apparently is the term for the plural of octopuses. It's not octopi. I don't know. I always refer to it as octopi, but I'm wrong, apparently. The cuttlefish's apparent hand wavies, they actually change their entire color. It's pretty awesome. Like octopuses, they appear to be quite intelligent. New aspect of their sophistication opens up a new avenue for researchers to investigate their smarts using machine learning. Says the team's research is not yet peer-reviewed and is hosted on the preprint server bioRxiv, B-I-O, the letter R in capital letters, X-I-V, archive. Anyway, because, that's snazzy and marketable and so hip with the youth. In its research, the team studied 4 different arm movements in 2 cuttlefish species, Officinalis and S. bendensis. The researchers recorded videos of the animals signing and played them back to the other cuttlefish participants, who waved back. Like what happened to me in New York. I waved and they waved back. Oh, never mind. Anyway, the team also, it says, flipped the video in some playbacks, revealing that the cuttlefish were more likely to wave when the video was played upright. The cuttlefish had 4 different signs dubbed upside, roll, and crown, kind of like quirks. So cuttlefish are, maybe they need to be changed to quirklefish. There we go, quirklefish. My brain had a hard time. Anyway, in addition to their visually striking display, arm wave signs produce mechanical waves in the water, prompting us to explore the possibility that they may also perceive via mechanoreception, the team wrote. In other words, even when the animals could not see one another underwater, they could feel the vibrational waves, man. Pretty cool. Let's keep going. Next article is over. Oh, I didn't put him in into the bot. So it's a time machine, so I'm not going to worry about it this time. But we're going to shut down and do another show immediately after this one. And we'll be back on time. Back to the future. So Disney Plus now lets you digitally visit Galaxy's Edge, skip the lines, and even take a spin around Rise of the Resistance in the streamer's pair of new POV journeys. I cracked the other day and I ordered the X-Real 1 Pro headset. We'll see if I get it before the summer of Stream 2025. Sabina Graves put the article together. You can go through Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, complete with one ride POV experience for Star Wars fans. All that's missing are stops at the shops like Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, where we have lately been short credits to buy some legacy lightsabers. Exploring the Black Spire outpost without being packed with tourists is so different from the video games online, or the videos online. What makes it so delightfully zen is that the video of Batu's POV goes on with its soundscapes and evening lighting. Very nice. Mood lighting. And there's, of course, some encounters with characters along the way. You'll find Rey and Chewie by the Millennium Falcon, encouraging you to stand against Kylo Ren in the First Order, which sets up the video's final note of evil Ben Solo. I've been Solo a long time, baby. It's wrong, I know. Anyway, it also features in the video are the Mandalorian and Grogu driving point that there is no longer a fixed timeline in Galaxy's Edge or at Galaxy's Edge. There's more, there's a video here and whatnot, but I've always believed that you can go anywhere via technology, and this is just driving home the point. So they also added on to Disney Plus is a full POV of Rise of the Resistance, the e-ticket attraction at Galaxy's Edge. And yes, Oscar Isaac's Poe Dameron makes an appearance to call you a fine-looking recruit. You is a fine-looking recruit. Let's keep going. The next article is over in it's over in Mobble, one of over 50 channels that are at ohmtown.com where news is aggregated, and we turn 7 of these into podcasts. 6 are weekly shows. 1 is a daily show. Check it all out. Wherever you catch pod, do a search for ohmtown and you'll find us. So Revenge of the Savage Planet is the goofy little Metroidvania that could, and I can't get enough of it. According to this article, it's a review over at Vice. Sean Sachecki put the article together. The deck statement says, Revenge of the Savage Planet is one of those games you shouldn't overlook. It's an extremely fun Metroidvania full of chaos and joy. Metroidvania? Why do I mean, why is this called a Metroidvania? See, I don't think that that's what this should be called. There needs to be a better name, like incremental. What did I call it? Increment. It's not Vampire Survivors. It's an incremental Souls-like. Incremental Souls-like. Like are Vampire Survivor games. That's incremental Souls-like. This shouldn't be Metroidvania, because this doesn't look Metroidvania to me. I mean, I've always thought that Metroidvanias are horizontal, like side scrollers kind of things, platformers, but this doesn't seem like a platformer to me, because I've played this. Journey to the Savage Planet is one of those cult classic games that they feel deserves more love. While there have been some flaws, it was beautiful and exciting FPS Metroidvania combo that sunk its hooks into them and didn't let go. Revenge of the Savage Planet, on the other hand, feels much more like a refined version of the original game. Sure, it's still got some goofs and gaffes here and there, but it's much more polished overall. I've played this. It's a lot of fun. So the swap from first person to third person was the best thing that Team Raccoon Logic Studios could have done. The impressive animation work is the highlight here, and being able to customize our space person to our liking is a hoot. It's a darn near hoot. Combat is a little bland, but the exploration in Revenge of the Savage Planet is unmatched, regardless of where they found themselves. They wanted to explore every nook and cranny of the environment. Maybe it was the bouncy and almost Saturday morning cartoon-esque movements of their character, and they could have been the rewards that they knew they could get. Or maybe it was just to unlock a new color scheme for their silly little bunny costume. Either way, they were eager to see what the new map would showcase. So if you're eager to explore and just have a ton of fun, be sure to check out Revenge of the Savage Planet. And I agree with this recommendation. They say verdict, highly recommended. I agree. It'll be available May 8th, so right around the corner here, folks. 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and a code was provided by the publisher for the sake of the review, so they got it for free over at Vice. Unlike us poor schmoes who have to pay full boat. Let's keep on moving. A marine fossil found in South Africa is one of a kind thanks to unusual preservation. A fossilized creature found in South Africa roadside quarry 25 years ago finally has an official name. The small segmented crustacean-like creature dated to 444 million years ago can now be introduced as Curbos susanae. It belongs to an arthropod group of animals, which accounts for about 84% of all known species that exist today, including insects, spiders, crabs, and No, I'm just kidding. The article is over at phys.org. Sarah Gabot, or Gabbett, put the article together over at The Conversation, which is an external site, but produces a lot of content that gets published over at phys.org. Paleontologist Sarah Gabbett explains that so unusual about her discovery, which she named as part of the process of describing it scientifically. So what can you tell about the creature and the environment that it lived in? Well, the fossil, small segmented crustacean-like creature, 50 centimeters long, 46 almost identical segments projecting from each as a delicate gill-like structure. It would probably have looked much like a horseshoe crab, and the gills would have been absorbing oxygen from the water it lived in. Its insides are exquisitely well preserved, which is very unusual for fossils. Normally, only the hard, more decay-resistant external features would have been preserved, and you can see the bundles of muscle fibers that have powered the limbs, tendons, and an internal scaffold structure that gave the animal rigidity. So, pretty damn amazing. Oh, but it's like long. It has a whole bunch of little segments in there, and what looks like bigger segments. You can see its little legs. It looks like a centipede, but like a armored centipede. It lived in the intermediate aftermath of the end Ordovician extinction event, or more than 440 million years ago, caused by the glaciations, the spread of icy conditions across vast swaths of the planet. The extinction wiped out about 85% of Earth's species. The marine basin that Cuervos susanae inhabited was probably very cold and at times covered with sea ice. Pretty cool. It basically preserved inside out. So it meant that the carcass was not scavenged by other animals after it died. It just kind of froze there. Free hydrogen sulfide occurred in the sediment pore waters and water in tiny spaces between grains of sediment and even above the seafloor. Not much could live in these conditions, and so it was critical to the fossil's amazing preservation. There was no predation, and everything froze in place under a really fine detail. So it basically slowly converted over to mineralization, which is the process by something becomes a fossil. And there you have it. Really fine detail. Quite fascinating. Let's keep going. This next article is over in Technology Today, which is one of our weekend shows. Why the sky glows green over Chile's desert, and it's not an aura. Hidden away in the darkest corners of the Earth's atmosphere, a faint green air glow quietly paints the sky, far from bustling interference of light pollution. Captured above the La Silla Observatory in Chile's Atacama Desert, which I've always been fascinated by. The phenomenon is often confused with more dramatic auroras, but has its own mesmerizing silent charm. So it's not aurora apparently, but it has to do something with like copper. European Southern Observatory put the article together, or ESO, over at scitechdaily.com. The soft green glow filling the sky is called air glow, a faint light naturally emitted by Earth's upper atmosphere. And unlike the stars or auroras, you can't see air glow with the naked eye. It's far too dim. But the extremely dark locations, sensitive cameras can capture its ghostly presence. One such place is s4e125 Observatory, operated by ESO, nestled on the edge of Chile's remote Atacama Desert, where light pollution is almost non-existent. So that's pretty cool. So these particles return to their normal state. They release faint light, producing a soft, steady glow. Air glow is created when ultraviolet radiation from the sun energizes atoms and molecules in the upper atmosphere. So what are those, though? What atoms and molecules? What type? So it says, but there is more than just air glow hiding in the fisheye view of s4e125. Can you spot the 3 telescopes? Well, looks like I can see 2. I don't know about the third one, but I'm not clicking on it. Anyway, ESO's 3.6 meter telescope, a 1.2 meter Leonhard-Euler telescope, which is the top left. There's one at the bottom. And but the almost unrecognizable new technology telescope might be more of a challenge. It's hiding at the top. Oh, what, that way over there? I don't know. Anyway, it says, now that you found the telescopes, how about seeing them up close? Yes, you can actually visit them. It says there will be no air glow as visits during daytime to avoid interfering with nighttime work. So you can only go during the day, folks. Go check it out. Let's keep going. This next article is over in Non Sequitur News. That's the name of this show. Electric car battery mining operation allegedly hid evidence that it was leaching dangerous chemical into the water system. One of the common misperceptions or misconceptions about electric vehicles is that they're a net positive for the environment. While EVs are almost certainly better for the planet than gas-powered ones, they still have a substantial impact because of factors like battery manufacturing and coal-generated electricity. Mining the precious metals needed to build high-tech EV batteries is especially rough on the planet and the people living nearby, as one nickel extraction operation has shown. The Harita Group is a massive Indonesian conglomerate responsible for one of the largest nickel mining operations in the country, which is currently the world leader in nickel exports. Harita is a major player in Indonesia's metal supply chain. The article is over at Futurism in the Put That Wherever segment by Joe Wilkins. Paging Aaron Brockovich is the deck statement. And yeah, we've known about this kind of stuff for a while now. Not necessarily that they hid things, but Indonesia's metal supply chain with its coal-fired smelters responsible for nearly 1% of Indonesia's total carbon emissions in 2023. As it turns out, it's one of the nation's island nations, they say, but might as well just say nations, leading water polluters. A new investigation by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or OCCRP, found evidence of a decade-long chemical dumping scheme connected to Harita's nickel mine, which began operations in 2010. The OCCRP alleges that Harita's operations have leached the waste chemical chromium-6, a highly carcinogenic byproduct of high-temperature nickel extraction, which is why I try to... I'm very careful with laser operations with anything having to do with nickel. A highly carcinogenic byproduct of high-temperature nickel extraction, perhaps best known as the contaminant investigated by activist Aaron Brockovich back in 1990s into local waters for years on end. Yeah, it is. Chromium is just horrible, and there's not much more to say about it. I mean, it's pretty disastrous to everything around it. Thousands of now leaked emails tell another story. When Harita first discovered elevated chromium-6 levels in the water, it decided to hide the data from the local and international community, asking the government not to convey the information to the public at this time due to current unfavorable situation. Though the company didn't respond to comments to OCCRP or The Guardian, which reported on Harita's chromium-6 dumping back in 2022, the company's director of health, safety, and environment, Tony Goltham, was photographed holding a glass of water from a local stream to his lips back in 2023. The photo stopped short of showing Goltham drinking the water. I guess Goltham didn't take a gulpum. The dumping and subsequent cover-up are unfortunately par for the course in the precious metals industry, especially when it comes to the EV market, which has an obvious interest in burying any sign of environmental harm. It's an important reminder that green energy isn't necessarily net positive. Yeah. I had a conversation with people about it today, as a matter of fact. This next article is over on the Wanted channel. This giant magnet can lift an aircraft carrier and possibly power the future. Fusion reactor's electromagnetic heart is complete, bringing us one step closer to clean, infinite energy, though there's still a long road ahead and a whole bunch of marketing. Fusion reactor's electromagnetic heart is complete. Isaac Schultz over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. The most powerful pulsed superconducting magnet system ever built is now complete and will soon be part of the world's grandest energy experiment. The system is the central solenoid of the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, or ITER. A towering magnet core built and tested in the United States and destined for southern France, where the international project is assembling its gigantic tokamak. It's a type of plasma reactor. The magnet system will serve as the electromagnetic heart of the reactor, strong enough, according to ITER, to lift a freaking aircraft carrier, which that, I don't know, doesn't mean much to anybody. ITER is dedicated to validating nuclear fusion as a viable energy source, though none of the reactor's output will be used to power anything. ITER is simply a gigantic and expensive technology demonstrator, one that's inching increasingly closer to actually flipping the on switch to create the power of the sun here on Earth, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen. There's more over at this Gizmodo article, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. Let's keep going. Hopefully I tease you into being interested in going over through ohmTown, perhaps. You know, we don't do any advertising anywhere, so it would help if you follow us on Twitch and on YouTube and download the podcast and leave a review and comment and tell a friend and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is season 4 right now, so any help would be great. The project, led by genomic engineering outfit the Organoid Company, biotech group Lab Grown Leather, and creative agency VML, are holding a project that says that it's recreating dinosaur skin to make T-Rex leather, but is it really? Basically, they've used the fossilized collagen of a Tyrannosaurus Rex as a blueprint to engineer cells with synthetic DNA, according to a press release. Because, you know, Jurassic Park, or the way I call it is it's a show about old people, Geriatric Park, didn't teach us anything. It's going to eat our face and people are going to be surprised by it. We're unlocking the potential to engineer leather from prehistoric species, starting with the formidable T-Rex, said Shay Cannon of Lab Grown Leather, a professor of tissue engineering at Newcastle University in the UK. In a statement, the article is over at Futurism in a Wearable Lizards segment by Frank Landemore. The deck statement says, we're unlocking the potential to engineer leather from prehistoric species. They asked if they could, to which they answered yes, but they didn't ask, should we? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to do this. DNA or no DNA. We also don't have a good idea of what T-Rex skin was like. There's a handful of Tyrannosaurid skin impressions, but that doesn't let us know what the internal tissue was like. So it's all marketing bullshit. That's not what they say in the article, and that's my observation. What the company is doing seems to be fantasy, says Thomas Holtz Jr., a vertebrate paleontologist at the University of Maryland, who told Live Science, quote, "We have no preserved tyrannosaur DNA, indeed, not Mesozoic dinosaur DNA sequences. So there are no T-Rex genes because it's all manufactured marketing, because no press is bad press. And they wouldn't be talked about if it wasn't for something fantastical like saying that they're making T-Rex leather." Let's keep going, though. The next article is over on Prime Glass. Everything was fake but the money. Forgers in Versailles chair scandal await sentencing. So take a seat as we discuss briefly Vincent Noce, or Noce, or Noce, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, Noce, over at the Art newspaper. I won't be able to go through all of this, but basically, it's been almost a decade since the Parisian antiques dealer Bill Pallet stunned the art world by confessing to faking a series of royal chairs. According to the case filed in 2016, 11 chairs and armchairs presented as commissioned by relatives of Louis XV and XVI were sold for a total of 3.7 million euro through Parisian galleries and Sotheby's at the Chateau of, to the Chateau of Versailles, as well as private collectors, including Prince Hamad Al Thani of Qatar and an heir to the Hermé family. The ensuing investigation uncovered huge profits, offshore companies in Panama, Swiss bank accounts, hidden sums in cash, and forged provenances, and has shed light on the dark face of the antique furniture market. So somebody probably got cheated out of something, and then it all unraveled. So they say the heaviest fine, 700,000 euro, was requested for the prestigious Gallery Kramer, which sold 4 of the fake seats. In one case, the gallery sold to Prince Altani a pair of chairs for $2 million, which it had purchased for 200,000 euro. The collector was refunded. Yeah, probably because these two would be disappeared. Supposedly commissioned by Queen Marie Antoinette, the pair had been classified by the French state as a national treasure at the request of the Chateau de Versailles, which had considered buying them. So basically everything was a scam except the money, and now they're paying the price. So again, take a seat over there. This next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Total Chad gets bit by hundreds of venomous snakes to develop a universal anti-venom. I've always thought it was anti-venom, but could be wrong. I am wrong. So it sounds like the origin story of a superhero, but there's nothing fictional about Tim Fried's what they've accomplished. In 2001, the 57-year-old Wisconsin man let himself be bitten by venomous snakes on an incredible 200 occasions, inuring him his immune system to the serpent's deadly toxins. Cobras, black mambas, you name it, Fried was weathered them all. That's on top of injecting himself with over 650 doses of increasingly potent amounts of venom. They want to kill me, I want to survive, says Fried, who told that to NPR. And in building such a remarkable tolerance, Fried's badass quest may help save other people's lives too. Scientists have identified antibodies in Fried's blood. So the article is over in Futurism's Neoscope. Frank Landemore put the article together. I don't know how much more there is in this. Around 138,000 people die each year from snake bites, according to the World Health Organization. You have to get to them pretty quick. It's not something that can linger. The new study in the journal Cell, the researchers combined some of Fried's superpowered antibodies with an existing treatment for snake venom to create a cocktail that can protect against the venom of 19 different species of snake found around the world. Those who survive can suffer permanent disabilities, loss of limbs, stroke, even blindness. Having access to the necessary antivenom, especially in poorer or difficult to access regions, is a tall order, especially when there are so many different kinds of deadly serpents. Universal cure could change that equation. AI actually has been leveraged to do some of this, and they found some combination of something where there was 280,000 different cocktail combinations, and they reduced it down, distilled it down to like 8. for which they're doing research, but nothing beats apparently somebody actually having the antibodies so that you can just take those, amplify them, and then send them off to people who might be in need. There's still significant challenges ahead before this can become a bona fide universal antivenom. Its efficacy still needs to be proven in humans, and the treatment currently doesn't protect against vipers, which account for roughly half of all venomous snakes, noted David Williams, a scientist who studies antivenoms for the WHO, World Health Organization, who said this to NPR. Anyway, pretty damn cool. And speaking of that, we are going to inject ourselves back to the front page of ohmtown.com, and that's the source for all of the Non Sequitur news. We aggregate news into ohmtown, and from there I manage my information overload, and it's available to you too, so go on over and sign up. But until next time, I am out of here. I think I'm going to have to call it a night. I have some mayoral duties that I need to attend to, and so I'm going to be kind of busy here in a moment. So see ya probably tomorrow night. We'll see if I can get this done and play catch up. So I don't like being behind a day. The time machine stays pretty warm when I do it that way. Anyway, see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.